Hello everyone, welcome to part 6 of my video series featuring Build the Millennium Falcon by Agostini. Now in this episode we are going to have a look at issue 9 and issue 10, I have them right here. I of course also have the magazines, but as I've said previously, we are not going to have a look at those, we are going to focus on the parts instead. Now, since I made my last video, I actually went out and picked up quite a few things. Some paints and some tools and stuff, and I think I'm gonna just briefly go over those things in this video, and then once we're done with that, we're going to actually have a look at these parts here. So hang on while I get all the stuff out, and we're just gonna very quickly run over all of it. Okay, so here we basically have everything, and I'm just gonna start from one end. Now here we have a set of pipettes that I picked up. These are from Tamiya. I have 3 big ones in here and 3 small ones, and I'm gonna use these for when I'm thinning some of my paints, both when I'm using brushes but also when I'm airbrushing. These are going to be very handy. Then I also picked up this tiny small can here of some Umbral enamel, and I'm gonna use this possibly, I'm not really sure actually, for doing varnishes and coats of varnish, but I'm not really sure I'll actually get to use it, but it's nice to have, and it was very cheap. Then I picked up these 5 paints. They're all from Tamiya, and I'm just gonna quickly mention them. This is the XF55 Deck Tan, and this is the XF16 Flat Aluminium, and this is the Tamiya XF49 Khaki, and then we have the XF63 German Grey, and then we have the X19 Smoke. So these are going to be used for different things. The flat aluminium khaki and deck tan are for the cockpit seats. The German grey is going to be for the interiors, like the flat areas, the floor, the panels and everything. I'm just going to try and airbrush some layers of this on those areas and do some dry brushing and some washes afterwards to just make the details pop. And it's basically in order to get rid of this plastic appearance that some of the interior parts has by standard. The smoke here, I believe, is a wash, so it's a thinned version. I'd be able to actually make this just thinning some paint also, but it was pretty cheap, so I just decided to add it to my order so I have it in stock, and then I'll figure out if I'm gonna use it and where I'm gonna use it in the future. I actually decided to pick up some Tamiya cement for ABS as well. I talked about this in a previous video as to which glue I should be using for this build here. In the instructions they do recommend that you use this CA type glue like this one here, and there are also many other variations of it. But I've also been recommended using this one here, and I honestly think that since it's made for ABS, I don't really see that there's going to be any problems using this also, so it's nice to have it at least. Then I picked up 3 brushes. These are from Tamiya. Just so I have a good coverage here, I have a fine, precise pencil, a medium-sized one, and a larger one. And they can be used for different things like applying washes, but also applying dry brushing and all that. I don't really have any brushes other than these ones now, so I of course needed to pick up some. I picked up a pair of tweezers as well, because it's gonna be very useful for managing those very small details, adding them with glue to other parts and stuff like that. I think that's gonna be kind of required, I think. So now I have one of those also. Then I picked up the X20A thinner for acrylic paints. I'm definitely gonna use this, and I'm just gonna open it, use one of these pipettes here, stick it in there, get some out, and then mix the paint or thin the paint. It's a pretty nice size, so you get quite a lot here, I would say, for the money. Then I have, I only picked up 1 can of surface primer. This is the gray version. I'm gonna use this for the interior parts, the seats, the flooring and everything. Everything's gonna get primed before I actually apply any of these paints over here. But I'm definitely gonna need more primers. I'm thinking about maybe picking up the, I think it's called light gray, which I'm gonna use for the exterior, the hull plating and all that. And then finally I got 4 cans of the AS20 Insignia White. and this is the lacquer that I'm gonna apply to the exterior hull before I actually start applying all the other paints. So this is gonna be on top of the primer. I'm gonna add this, and then I'm actually gonna do the airbrushing and all that, adding details and all that. I got 4 of these, and my provider actually, or my supplier actually ran out of these once I picked up these 4. And they're quite difficult to get a hold of these days because they're basically sold out everywhere. So I was really lucky actually to get these 4. Now I'm not really sure that these 4 will do the job. I think I need to pick up at least 2 or 3 more, even though Steve Dimso and the instructions say that you can actually do the whole job using only 4 cans. I think it's going to be nice to have at least 2 more, so I feel a bit more on the safe side. And I'm also basing that on the experience from other builders out there who's been saying that, well, they've at least used maybe 2 or 3 cans just doing the top and the sides. So I think it's going to be a stretch settling with these 4. I'm going to have to pick up a few more once they become available. So that's basically it, guys. As you can see, I picked up quite a lot of things, and I have, of course, more that I need to pick up in the future. But I have to start somewhere, and that's basically it. Anyways, guys, enough talking about my shopping tendencies. Let's get back to issue 9 and pop it open and get all the parts out and have a look at those. So just hang on. Okay, guys, so here we have all the parts that comes with issue 9. Now, to start over here, this is part of the exterior hull, of course, and it goes on the bottom of the Millennium Falcon. So now we are starting to get pieces that are supposed to go on the bottom. This is the framework that also goes on the bottom. So we are actually going to start building that now, I think, in the coming issues. We also get this sprue here that has a few bits in it. There are 2 lines, rings, and those form the entrance to the passage tube from the main hold. And the white sprue contains all the small pads or cushions that are supposed to be glued onto this ring, just along the interior of the ring here. So that's gonna look great. And once this is done, it goes on the wall that we talked about in the previous issue. Then we get, well, part of the wall for the main hold. Then we get a small bag containing some fixing screws. There are 5 in the bag. I think we need 4, and that's going to be 1 in spare. And then we get this battery box here, which is actually going to be kind of like the life source for the power source for the entire build here. It contains, or it can contain, 4 standard AA batteries. And we get this wire also, so you can actually go ahead, I think, and attach it to the back panel of the cockpit. And if that is the case, I'm gonna do that in this video and give you a demonstration of what the light looks like in the cockpit. Then we finally also get these stickers here. These are just 2 similar stickers. They're black, and the point of these are to kind of stop any light leaking or seeping from the cockpit. So it's gonna go inside the interiors of the passage tube, I think. I have one here. So I believe they're supposed to go along this inside here and just block out the light so that it doesn't go through the plastic material here, basically, once it's turned on. So that's basically it, guys. I'm not gonna assemble this yet because, as I've said previously, the entire main hold and all that, I'm still planning what to do with it, and I think I'm gonna paint up things before I start attaching anything. Yeah, that's basically it. I think I'm gonna try and demonstrate the light here before we move on to issue 10. So just give me a moment and I'll try and hook this up. I'm gonna see if I can find 4 batteries and put inside here and see if I can get the LightUp feature to work. So just give me a few seconds. Okay guys, so I actually managed to find 4 standard AA batteries and put them inside the box here. Now on the front we have this small switch here which says on and off, and it's of course off right now. And it just fits with this wire and this connector onto the back panel of the cockpit, the one that we attached last time. And for now we're not going to need this cable here, so I suppose this is going to be needed in the future when we are adding more lights to the build. As you can see, now as I hold it like this, I'm just going to demonstrate the light up feature here of the cockpit, like so. And now you can see how the light, which is bright and white, lights through the sticker here and emphasizes all the small details on the sticker here, and it looks very cool, I think. But it gives out this very bright and white light, and it looks very nice, I think. So that's basically it, guys. Now what I'm gonna do now, I think, is just to add this back panel like I did in my last video to the back of the cockpit, and just do a test assembly again, so you get the feeling of what it looks like when it's kind of fully assembled and I turn on the lights. So just give me 2 seconds. Okay guys, so here we have the assembled cockpit with the passage tube, the nose cone and the interiors here. And I'm just gonna try and switch on the light so you can see what it looks like. I hope you can really see it. It's probably gonna be a bit small, so I'm gonna add a photo in any case. But here we go. And there you have it. So you get this very bright light through the sticker on the back wall here. It's very white right now. I know that some people are customizing it a bit by adding some color, some paint to the other side of the wall, so the light shines through maybe a red color or a blue color. And that also looks very beautiful. But for now, I actually really like this white and clean look of this. So I'm gonna stick with this for now, and maybe I'll change my mind later on. But this was basically what I wanted to show you guys. You can actually also see that the light is really burning in there. But these are LEDs, of course, so it doesn't really increase in temperature or anything, so you don't have to be worried about that. So in any case, guys, let's move on. I think this basically wraps up issue 9. So I'm ready to move on to issue 10 now, and I'm just gonna store all these parts until later. So just give me 2 seconds. Okay guys, so here we have the parts from issue 10, and as you can see, it's pretty simple really. We don't get that much. We get some framework here, and we get some hull plating. Both are for the bottom section of the Millennium Falcon. Then we get 3 bags, one containing 3 fixing screws, one containing a whole bunch of black screws for the framework, and then we get a single 2-hole connector as well. So it's pretty simple really. And finally we also get this part of the wall section of the main hold. And I just checked the instructions, and it says that this is part of this is the forward facing wall. So if I take the floor area here, this side here is basically the forward facing wall. So it fits just on like this. And then we have the whole section that I spoke about in my previous video here, with the Jari playing table here and the opening passageway here. And I just checked the instructions, and I'm just gonna show you, because they actually go ahead and start assembling the ring here with the pads that I spoke about earlier in this video. So they get them all out and they glue them onto the inner ring, as you can see here, and it looks like this. Then they actually also go ahead and dry brush some of the details of the greeblies for the wall section, and you can see that here, and they actually add them, and then they attach the inner rings and the ring with the pads here. So they basically finalize the entire wall, the wall that is supposed to go on this side here. But as I've said previously, my plan is still to kind of redo the appearance of the main hold, in the sense that I'm gonna prime it up and add a different color to it, just to get rid of this plastic feel or texture that it kind of has at this point. And I'm probably gonna use the German gray for that. But I haven't entirely made up my mind yet, but I'm not gonna assemble this as the instructions say at this time. I'm gonna wait and hold back a bit with that. So with that said, I think I'm actually done with this video now, because all I wanted was to just show you all the parts here, and in case they actually told me to assemble the framework, I would also have done that. but I think that is going to come in one of the following issues as we get more bits and pieces for it, because so far we assembled some of the top framework, but I think this is on a standstill for now, because I think that you're actually going to move on to do the bottom framework now, from now on and forward. So you will actually start by assembling the entire bottom part of the Millennium Falcon. Anyways guys, I hope this was fun to watch and that you enjoyed it. And do remember to leave me a comment or any questions you might have in the section below, and like and subscribe and everything. Thanks a lot for watching guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video.